Hey, well, it's only been 3 weeks since it came out, but Heath Williams' debut album, Front Porch Livin', has already shot to the top of the country music charts. His songs have connected with country fans everywhere by telling stories about real everyday life in rural America, from fixing up trucks to barbecuing to doing crystal meth. And the man himself, Heath Williams, is joining us now this morning. Howdy, Heath.
How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thanks for being here, Heath. You know, I'm a country girl at heart, so I love this music. You know, every time I'm in the car, I put on the song Taking Apart Bicycles in the IHOP parking lot.
Now, you know that song's actually based on a true story.
Really?
Yeah, it's about this good old boy from Tuscaloosa named Shaky.
Uh-huh.
He once spent a whole night taking apart a bicycle and putting it back together again because he was high on meth.
Now, are all your songs based on true stories?
Most of them. You know, I like writing about country living.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the folks you meet out in a small town, the farmers, tweakers who are missing most of their teeth who'll suck your dick for $20. Just real folks.
Yeah, I've met some of those boys.
Yeah, but then other times, you know, I just pick up my guitar and start strumming, and it just comes to me. That's how I came up with picking my scabs.
Oh.
Well, I got scabs on my scalp and I've been scratching. Spider eggs are in my skin and they're all hatching. I'm just picking my scabs tonight.
Yeah, excellent.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Makes me want to dance.
Yeah, really.
I love playing that song live because you can always tell who's tweaking the most. They're always screaming the loudest or just shrieking incoherently.
Yeah. Well, the album is Front Porch Livin'. It's out now. It's full of some great hits, including the #1 single that you're about to play for us now. And as a special treat to our viewers at home, we've got the whole band here in the studio this morning to assist you on your song.
Well, everyone in Pennington is talking about it. Something smells like weed in that back part of the library.
No one has located the source of the weed smell, but witnesses say that it seems to come from that area of the library behind the computer desk between the magazine rack and that weird couch.
Head librarian Cookie Stevens and library volunteers Margaret Mosier and Gail Fredericks were in the middle of discussing the upcoming used book saleganza when they smelled something strange.
So Doug smelled marijuana somewhere, and we're like shocked.
Yeah.
And so Doug goes, "Do you smell it?"
Oh, I thought it was my linguine that I left
It
in the
smells
microwave.
something funny, like it was on fire.
We thought it was Cookie's linguine on fire.
And I couldn't believe it was drugs
No,
in
I've
the
never smelled
library.
anything like
Gail
that
knew
in
what
my
it was. I guessed. It's not like a Cheech and Chong or something.
Without any way to confirm that the smell was indeed weed, Cookie Stevens called her husband Sheriff Stevens, who called in local ceramics teacher Dutch Gibbs, who lived in Seattle for a few months in the 70s.
Yeah, that's weed.
Sheriff Stevens has begun compiling a list of potential suspects, including that boy Lance, who has girl hair and hangs out down by the quarry, Greg Fromke, who was spotted this evening really going to town on some potato skins at Steaky Jake's Steakhouse, and Mr. Thompson. Luckily, one young reading enthusiast seemed unperturbed by the illicit smell.
I hear a lot of people talking about it. I mean, I don't smell anything. I mean, I don't smell anything. I really love the library.
The weed smell comes on the heels of last month's discovery of a gigantic pair of women's underpants in the children's fiction section. According to Stevens, that case remains open as well. Well, too bad it wasn't meth. It just could have had you come down and sniff it out, huh, Kathy?
Eat shit, Randall. I'm in recovery.
The first trial studies is getting underway this morning. Good morning, Yunji.
Good morning, Kate. Volunteers began arriving here at the hospital at 7 o'clock this morning. Researchers inside are working overtime to try to find the right flu vaccine formula. Researchers are in a race against time as they try to figure out the most effective H1N1 flu vaccine.
The clock is ticking, and when children go back to school, children are going to be very susceptible to this virus.
Which is why these clinical trials are so important. In 8 hospitals from coast to coast, volunteers will receive a series of shots, some stronger than others, to figure out how much vaccine and how many shots it will take to protect the public.
When you vaccinate hundreds of millions of people.
Volunteers like Paul Ritterhoff will be closely monitored over the next several weeks. While doctors say the process is safe, Ritterhoff and the others risk several side effects, including fever, allergic reactions, and a remote chance of paralysis and even death.
The opportunity to contribute to something that is really in the cutting edge of science that has a significant impact on lots of people around the world is something that makes the risk worth it.
Now, the hope is that the vaccine will be ready to go in October before the temperature drops. Doctors say when the winter set in, they expect the epidemic to take off. Kate?
Yunji, thanks so much. And
we have a breaking news blast on the tragic situation happening across the country, in which more than 40,000 Americans have been trapped in a Confessions animal hoarding marathon on Animal Planet for the last 13 hours. The Animal Hoarders Marathon began at 9 this morning as victims were preparing for a full day before hearing the fateful sound of the show's opening credits. Almost instantly, thousands were pinned to their couches by a story of a heavyset homosexual living with his partner, his toothless sister, and 31 chihuahuas. Rescue workers rushed to free as many victims as they could.
The rope secure? Rope secure. We're gonna get you out of here. Just hold on a second, ma'am.
Wait, I think the next one is about monkeys.
Ready? Ready! Pull!
No, wait. Can I just see what happens with the feral cat?
In other parts of the country, rescue workers enlisted volunteers who had already seen the episodes to spoil them for the victims.
Oh, yeah, this one. This is about the lady living with the dogs in the trailer. She doesn't even get evicted in the end. Basically, they say that she continues to live with the dogs, and that's it. It's really disappointing.
This comes 2 years after a man was forced to cut his own eyes out to escape a ghost hunters marathon he was trapped in for 5 days. A movie based on his ordeal starring James Franco is due out next month.